Hello, and how are we doing this afternoon? If you're here, you're at the Let's Talk Fab show. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and I am today with some wonderful panelists that will come on. We are going to be talking today about leading with vulnerability, being courageous at leading vulnerability, because it's really important to just be real so people can trust you and know who you are. So we're going to get right to it. Here we go. Okay, and we're back, and we have our panelists here popping up. Hello. We just love technology, and we just love how things work here. So, hello, everybody, and welcome again. If you're just signing on, this is Let's Talk Fabulous Show with yours truly, host Barbara J. Beckley, leading with vulnerability. And the reason why, because we all get a chance as hosts, we get to pick the topics on what we want to talk about and bring in the panelists for the expertise of it. Because I really wanted people to understand that it's okay. It's okay to be you. In fact, we want you to be you. We don't want you to be somebody else. That's them. We need you to be you. So I can be the best Barbara J. Beckley, right? But I can't be the best Kim O'Neill. And I can't be the best Barbara Ellison or Sasha or Leticia. I can't be that. They have to be themselves. And what's so nice about it, they are awesome being themselves. They're incredible because we got those special gifts in us. So I don't want to take the time out, me talking, because that's why we have a panelist here. But I just wanted to give you just a little bit of ground rule on why this topic was picked, because it's so important, especially nowadays, that you just need to be your true self. Okay, so before we go into everything, I want to shine a little light on this, just a little light on what we're talking about when we're talking about vulnerability. And it's really talking about the love inside of you. Okay, that's really what it really comes out to that. And I want to play this quick video because just to kind of set the tone a little bit. Plus, this is our wonderful Tamara L. Hunter with her wonderful music, and she's producing them so well. So let's hear a little bit of that and just kind of get your mind at ease. Just love it on you so you can be true to yourself.
As we come together today,
we, the Fab family, stand united in love and unity.
We know that life brings challenges, and healing comes through connection.
In bringing awareness to mental health and well-being, we honor the strength it takes to keep moving forward.
Our show is dedicated to exploring our fabulous lives.
And that love will light the way.
Breathe and calm, let the world come alive. Peace begins when love arrives.
Close your eyes, release the fear. Every doubt will disappear. In the silence, hear the song.
Love within has been here all along.
Healing through connections, our light will always stay. A love that lifts and strengthens. Love will light the
way. Release the shadows,
lift the veil.
Let the voice of love prevail.
Every moment fresh and new.
We are connected,
me and you. Healing through connections, our light will always stay. A love that lifts and strengthens. Love will light the way.
In the quiet of the heart,
we are one.
love carry, let love guide. Here together, side by side. Healing through connections.
We're stronger when we share.
A love beyond perfection
That heals us everywhere. There is healing through connections for you, for me. Love will light our way.
healing through connections.
Love will light
The way healing through connection.
Love will light the way.
Every time I hear that song, I just want to cry. Oh my God. So, love will light the way. Your vulnerability, who you are, trusting you will light the way. So, I thought that was an amazing song to kind of just think about when we're thinking about vulnerability, because a lot of people could be a little bit scared of it. Well, I'm not gonna say little, a lot. Okay, we'll just put it there, because I know I was a long time ago. I was like, I'm not telling nobody. I don't know. They don't need to know. But now that I know how powerful it is to be vulnerable in yourself, I cannot help but not be vulnerable now. So it has changed a lot. So before we get into this, because you're probably looking at these ladies like, okay, who are they? They didn't introduce themselves, Barbara. Shame on you. Yes, we're going to get to that right now. And first, I want to pull in, a lot of people know this queen already, but she's a guest today. So I had to treat her with even up more royalty. So we'll start with Miss Kim.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kim O'Neill, and I am located in Lake Elsinore, California.
Yes, yes, yes. I loving the hair.
I know, I cut it. It's different.
I was like, oh my God, wait a minute, is that Kim?
I know.
Hi, I am Sasha Walton, and I'm located in Hampton, Virginia.
Yes, yes, yes. Queen Sasha. Next queen.
Hi, I am Leticia Jackson-Gibbs, and I'm located in Plainfield, Illinois.
Barbara said, she's kind of close.
You're kind of close. Hi, yeah, I'm Barbara Ellison, and I am in Cortland, Illinois.
Wow, wow, wow. So all the queens, we're all different ways, but see, together here, we get to come together and bring some wisdom, guidance, and just tips regarding it. And my name is Barbara J. And I'm from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Might as well just join in the fun. So everybody know who I am as well, where I'm coming from. So, and just to let you know, just real quick, we did get snow last night. Not liking it. I don't know, Barbara or Tisha, did you get it? But I did. Yes. I was like, no.
I did have to scrape my windshield this morning.
Oh. See, I'm too spoiled. I need to get unspoiled because this is about to happen. So I'm like, okay, Barbara, you are where you are. Get ready for it. But yeah, but it's nice to be in here, nice and cozy with the Let's Talk Fab panelists instead of being out there. But with that said, I really want to get into now talking about one question I want to put out there for everybody, because this is just not about the panelists. I always want to remind everybody that the people that are commenting, you're part of this conversation. You are a part of us here. We're all a community. So I want to put something out there, which hopefully they can see. I think I can put it where people can see outside the realm here. It says, what does vulnerability mean to you personally? What does vulnerability mean to? So I want you to kind of be thinking of that while the panelists are talking and we show their videos. So really get deep, because if you are, like I said earlier, a little bit nervous about it, then that's something that, we need to kind of, you want to dig a little bit deeper, because your vulnerability gives hope to others. It gives connection to others, because now people don't feel like they're alone. So when you think of it like that and say it like that, you might want to rethink about, not doing it. But with that, we want to start off with Mrs. Kim, her wonderful video. We're going to listen to her video, and she's going to do some comments on that. Be right back.
Hey everybody, this is Kim, and I am so excited to be talking about the courage to be seen, leading with vulnerability. So much so that when I found out Barbara was doing a show on this subject, I said, Barbara, hello, do you need someone? Because, can I be a guest on this topic? Because it just hits home so much for me. I started podcasting 10 years ago, and it's evolved a whole bunch over time. But one of the things that was at the very beginning of my journey that I did not anticipate is I had nerves, but I also had excitement. But what I didn't anticipate was a whole level of nervousness and mind chatter that showed up when I realized, podcasting, show hosting, or even just simply showing up on social media as an entrepreneur is different from doing, say, theater or performing, in a band, singing and things like that. How is it different? Because now you're showing up as just you. You don't have a script. It's you. And what are you going to do to be able to do it and feel good about it? And so let's talk about it.
So as she said, let's talk about it.
Yeah, my goodness. I mean, that was something that, it might sound so obvious on the surface to everybody, right? You're showing up on camera, people are going to see you. But for me, it was a shift I had to make mentally, because I've always found joy in communicating and expressing and being creative. But when I realized, wait a second, do it, shows like this, even just, again, you don't have to do a podcast. Maybe you're just an entrepreneur showing up on social media, trying to promote your business or something. It's you. People are looking at you. You don't have a script. And that was like, oh no, that brought in, whoa, now what if they judge me? What if they don't like me? What if I screw up? What if I say something that sounds really dumb? What if I just all the different things, right? All the self-criticism, all the judgment. And I really had to sift through that to get to a space where I can do what I want to do, what I feel called to do, and not feel hindered and weighted down by all these fears, all these limiting beliefs and thoughts that were just creeping in. I really had to work through that, and it's worth it. But it was a process. It was a journey. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you took the journey, Queen. You really took a wonderful journey, because you're amazing. And I love how you said, you know what? Instead of fearing it even more, you took the plunge and said, well, let me try to do this, and then see what revolved around it. So did anybody else want to add any comments for what Kim was saying? It's Barbara.
I totally understand what she's saying. When I first started, I started doing 50-second little videos on Instagram. It would take me 10 minutes to just, yike. And I would be shaking in my boots. And then, I would hear Mel Robbins in my ear, go, Barbara, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it, and push the button. And I would freeze for a second. It was like, okay, no, I can do this. And you start, then you erase it and start again. And that's what being vulnerable is all about, is starting again. Just do it. Just do it. Feeling that vulnerable. And one of the things that I always share with people is do you. Everyone else is taken. So just do you. And you will find the people who love you and who are your tribe. Don't worry about the other ones.
Yes. Anybody else want to comment on that?
I like to comment a little bit. I love this topic because I am truly an introvert. So I'm always doing things to push myself out there. So I have never even gone live on social media. So when these opportunities are presented to me from Barbara, I'm like, okay, this puts me a little step further. So yeah, it's not necessarily Leticia is going live because I'm on a panel of other people, but this definitely makes me feel more, puts me out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I really love this topic because, it's okay to say, hey, I really don't have it all together right now, But this topic definitely resonated with me because I'm like, okay, good. You're making strides and steps towards being less behind your own shield in a sense.
I had to drop the mic on that one because I love how you said just how we're saying just do it, and like Leticia said, she wasn't prepared. She just said, you know what, let me do it and see what happens, because that's what I always tell people. Do it. If it's not working, at least you found out. But if you don't try it at all, then you're really doing a disjustice to yourself, because you didn't even try. You didn't even try to see. And I love how she always says yes to me every time I ask her to come on this show. So you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. I love it. She's putting herself out there all the time, and that's what it's all about. Anybody else want to add real quickly?
I would just add one thing. I would say, what's on my shirt? Trust your dopeness. When you are like battling that area of, okay, I gotta go, I gotta show my face, I have to talk about me, I have to share some things and all this other, trust who you are. That's first and foremost. Trust who you are. We started out by saying that we love ourselves enough to trust our own journey, and then to share that with others. So definitely trust your dopeness.
Yes,
love that.
Kim, I want to make sure.
I love that, what she was saying about loving yourself enough to trust your journey. And I think, that's a great mindset shift right there, is to recognize that, wait a second, what I'm experiencing in this moment, this fear, the thoughts that are coming up, this is part of my journey, and it is going to be unique to me. And so it starts to weed out some of that extra stuff just a little bit, so we can start to hone in on, what am I doing? What's my experience, and how do I get through all this chaos that's starting to show up, the fear?
Yeah. And just when you said, just real quickly before we go to Barbara, go to play her video next, is that I always tell people, if there's no fear or nervousness there somewhere, then you're not growing. See, that's where the growth comes. That's like a little tip for people to say, when that little fear or little nervous, whatever's like bulging up in you, that's telling you, that's really saying to do it, because now you're going to learn from something out of it. Even if it's something that don't work out, you still learn something. Some people are like, well, Barbara, didn't work out, but you learn something from it. Somewhere down the line, I always tell people, I learn from people what not to do and what to do. And sometimes I say to myself, well, that's something I won't do again, because I've learned from it. So always the growing part aspect of it, take that leap of faith, because no matter what, I'm telling you, it always happens to me. You're going to grow from that. You're going to learn something from it. And just to add to that, you get to help others learn and grow. Mm-hmm. So with that helping and growing, we're going to get to Barbara's video. We'll be right back.
When we talk about the courage to be seen, we're really talking about allowing our true self to step forward without the mask of perfection. Because you know what? Vulnerability isn't weakness. I think it's actually a form of leadership. It says, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm human, and you're safe to be human too. So the tip that I want to offer and share is this. Share one thing that you've overcome while you're still becoming. Not once it's polished, not once it's all wrapped up in a fancy bow. Share from where you are right now. Share from the middle. Because that's where real connection happens. That's where trust grows. And that's where people see what's possible for them too. So today, give yourself permission to be seen as you are, not as you think you should be. Your openness is the invitation that someone else has been waiting for.
Ooh, some golden nuggets all in there. Oh, like you said, give yourself permission. Barbara, you have to get more into that. I love that.
So often we see our personal identity is so wrapped up in what we do, who we think we should be, stop doing that. That's all I can say. Stop doing that. Be you. We've already talked about it. Do you, because the people that you are going to impact around you, they need to see the vision, the real you, because so often people get caught up in comparison. Hey, let me tell you, been there, done that. And now I realize that I was doing not only myself a disservice by trying to be somebody else. Like, well, I'm not doing that like so and so, or I'm not. Oh, I can't talk like so and so, and and I use my hands, and I shouldn't do that, and all the things we shouldn't do. Do you? And that shows that vulnerability that you have to get past it. That's what's going to give you the impetus to make a difference in the world, not only just in your life, but in the lives of the people around you. And that's what I truly believe, that's what we're all here for. And that's where that feeling of, wow, I've made a difference comes from. So, yeah.
Ooh, anybody else want to chime on that? That is some good stuff. Okay, I want to put up
just
here.
add a.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
there you
no,
go.
you're fine. I loved everything Barbara was saying. I was just going to add that I think when we bring it back to like, why are we doing what we're doing? That can also start to shift our focus, because when we're all caught up in the, oh no, I need to look perfect, or it needs to be done a certain way, that starts to water down what we're doing in the first place. And if we know that we're truly intending to come from a place of service, then if we can get ourselves back into that space, all that other stuff, the fear and everything, that starts to soften and quiet down, because now we remember, oh, that's right. What is the true purpose of doing this in the first place? It's to deliver. I saw in the comments, about the message. It's to deliver that message. And when we can do that, then the other stuff just starts to fall in the background.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I was going to say that, what you said about I had to go back to giving you permission. I loved when Barbara said that, because give yourself permission, because it's so, I can't stress the fact that when you are your true self, people need to see that to give them hope. A lot of times people feeling alone, and they're like, well, maybe I'm the only one that's dealing with this. I don't know. And then when they see us come on, because we come on weekly, or we have our own podcast or our own business and stuff, and then all of a sudden we're like, whew, I was so nervous. And they'll be like, what? I see you every week. You be on there just do and moving around and stuff. You was nervous? So, people say it to me all the time. I said, I was nervous. I was scared. They're like, scared? They said, I didn't see none of that, Barbara. I said, well, I'm glad I'm being vulnerable to you, because I want you to know it's okay. I just want you to know it's okay. We're all not perfect. We're all a work in progress, right? I'm always under construction. I mean, I got the, trucks coming in. I got the dump truck. I got everybody when it comes to work in progress. But that's okay, because at least somewhere down the line, we know that we're growing. So with that said, I wanted to put real quickly before we get to our other video, unless anybody else wants to comment, put some questions up here, because like I said, we have a group, not just here, but we have people chiming in, which I'm loving it. We got Queen Tamara on, we got Queen Caroline on. So one question, I'm going to throw some questions throughout. How can vulnerability deepen your relationship with others? How can your vulnerability deepen your relationship with others? And that's something to really, like I said, this is something just to think upon. And while you're still thinking on it, I just have to give some love, shout out to people that are out there. Ms. Tamara, it is okay to be, let's see, let's put this up here. It's okay to be who we are today. Yes. And then I like how Gloria, see our wonderful Gloria down there. Everyone makes mistakes too. So don't feel fear, keep you shining your light. Yes. Sometimes that light shines even lighter when you do make the mistake, because then people's like, okay, we're not perfect. She made a mistake. I made a mistake. Let's get over it. Move on. Right. So I'm loving the comments. Now we're going to get back to our panelists. Let's see. Let me see who I want to pick here. We have two more of our wonderful queens. So I'm going to go to Miss Sasha. Let's hear what she has to say about it. And then we'll be back and talk a little bit more about what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Sasha Walton, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the courage to be seen and leading with vulnerability. There is an art to showing up. That's like my first point. Believe that you're worth being seen. And when you lead with vulnerability, they get to experience the truth of who you are, and that is from your vulnerability. Identify with others. Others can identify and relate to you. And that is the beautiful part of it. As you are tracking on your way, whether you're in entrepreneurship or you're a speaker, author, whatever it is that you're doing, and you are battling being seen and even wanting to be vulnerable, there's an art to showing up. Remember to lead with vulnerability. It is the major way people are able to build trust with who you are, with your brand, with your talk, with your organization, with your nonprofit, with your books, whatever it is, that story that is identifiable and that people can relate to. It first has to come from you. Be ready to embrace your own vulnerability so that others can experience the greatness of who you are.
Where did I go? We're go straight to Sasha. Okay, that was different.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, everything you said was beautiful.
You know, and see, and that's one thing about the visibility. You know, when you're leading with vulnerability, you always find a way of speaking back to yourself. You know, and that's why I was listening, I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, who was that person? Because I wasn't always that person. I wasn't always that person that wanted to just show up and to be visible and to on this level, on this scope of things. So, you know, sometimes we'll look at visibility and or being vulnerable within our own confinements. You know, I know some of us mentioned about, you know, starting our podcast and doing things like that. You know, I'll get on live easily. Like that was no thing for me. But when it came down for me answering this call to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to be like everywhere. I'm going to be seen outside of my logo. I'm going to be seen outside of my own confinement, outside of my own comfort zones. You know, do I really want to do that? And that was the part I actually battled myself. And so when I said yes to my other side, I like to say that I said yes to my other side, because when you're in that comfort zone spot, that comfort zone is that place of safety. You know, it's that place of, you know, I can still be who I am, the way I want to be who I am, the way I want to show up, the way I want to do things. But when it comes down to a place of, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a speaker, author, anything that you're doing, even if it's just, you know, just showing up with a group of women just because you just want to just share time, you know, whatever that is, you are exiting out of your comfort zone. In order for people to really build relationship with you, to build trust with you, to really identify, you know, no matter how big this world is, there's always somebody out there that can relate. And so when I battled that myself, I was just like, okay, what am I going to do? I knew I had to do things differently. I know I was like being called to another level of leadership. I think somebody mentioned, you know, vulnerability being a form of leadership. And I'm just like, okay, what do I do with this? And the question came to me, and it was, is your purpose greater than your fear, or your fear greater than your purpose? And this was an inward conversation. And with that inward conversation, I know enough about purpose to be like, ew, wait a minute. You're pinching me with this one. I have to answer my purpose. With that answer got me to where I am right now. And so when you're looking at it, you are removing that mask. You're removing everything that would say, this is who I once was. You know, all that greatness, all those things that you want to do in your own way. Now it's like, okay, you're thinking of others first. You're thinking about what is out there that people need to understand. What is out there that you can share? What was on your journey that helped you get to where you are, that you can help another person? And so when it comes down to that, really vulnerability is a strength. You know, we can look at it as a weakness, but when we are embracing the weakness, it does form into a strength. So I just like to share that. And as I mentioned in the video, and I will stand on this all the time, don't rob people from experience the greatness of who you are.
Ooh, okay. I know other people have something to comment on that. Who's next?
That was beautiful. I definitely resonate with everything Sasha just said. Vulnerability not is definitely not a weakness. It definitely is a bridge to authenticity. You know, when we lean more into vulnerability, like the video in the beginning said, we unlock connections. We build those bridges to be able to connect with other individuals. We begin to heal, and you find your freedom, which also helps someone else find their freedom in the process as well. You know, sharing our stories as we do, and so are the people who are watching us right now, whether our story is unfiltered, whether it's imperfect. It's exactly what someone else may need to hear, because what that gives them the courage to also not be vulnerable. Your story helps the next person say, man, if she did it, I can do it. So I definitely love, the purpose that we all have out here to be able to share our story, our journey, our vision, our goals with other individuals helps, even if it's just one person, that it helps. We've done our job in a sense. I love it.
One of the things that comes to mind for me is sometimes when we are our vulnerable self and we say something out there on our journey that we are of the person to the person that we are becoming, and when we can be that little vulnerable thing, sometimes when we say it out loud to a group, then all of a sudden somebody else will come back and say, gee, I never thought of it that way. And then you think, well, gee, that they're saying that, well, maybe there's a different way for me to think about this too. And it starts the dialogue. And sometimes it's internal, sometimes it's external on this group. And then all of a sudden, yike, we realize that we are so much more alike than we ever are different. And that, I think, is one of the things that really is going to change the world, when we can realize that we are much more alike than we ever are different. And when we have these conversations.
I just have to chime in real quick before other people chime in. That was powerful. Like you said, Barbara, most of the time we're more alike than we're not. And the communication has to happen. That's why we need to be ourselves. That's why we need to be able to trust and be vulnerable, because that's how we get to know each other and say, wait a minute, me and Kim, and I can say this because this is true for me and Kim, when we talk and stuff, we're almost like we look at each other's sisters. I'm like, you were thinking the same thing as me? Oh, you were saying that, oh my God, our brains are thinking the same. All of a sudden, our brains are thinking the same.
Right.
Because we had a chance to be open with each other and vulnerable. And now it's like sometimes I probably could end her sentences sometime, or she could end mine. But see, you don't know that unless you're not vulnerable, right?
Right. And sometimes look at the times where you and I on our show that all of a sudden you'll say, well, I was just thinking that and it's coming out of my mouth, or vice versa. Gee, Barbara, I was just thinking the same thing and yet you were saying it. That's what comes from this vulnerable, open, letting your heart sing for what you're doing. Because then you see, oh, wow. Yeah. And it makes such a difference.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else want to comment?
Barbara, can I?
Oh, we got good. That's okay.
Okay. I'll be quick, Sasha. So I just wanted to add, it's, you asked that question earlier about how does our vulnerability connect us more to people, things like that. I see it right now in this moment. It's like, it's bridging that pathway forward. It's taking those steps forward to connecting us, rather than two individuals being on two individual islands. The open vulnerability of this person, okay, now we just took a couple steps further, and this person can realize, oh, wow, I can relate to them more than maybe I didn't realize I could in the first place. And there's a quote that I wanted to share that really speaks to this part of our conversation today, from Brene Brown about vulnerability. She's so good about this subject. She says, the definition of vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. But vulnerability is not weakness. It's our most accurate measure of courage. And that just speaks to today's conversation of tying it all together. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
That tied in real good. I'm going to add, Sasha, I know she wanted to add something too.
And I would say the biggest thing is getting out your own way. Because we can do all these beautiful things that we're talking about. But that first step is really getting outside of your own self, getting out of your way, and just really just leaping in and ready to embrace it. Don't think about, like somebody said earlier, don't think about what other people are thinking. Don't think about, if they're gonna like you, if people gonna like you, they're not gonna like you. That's even if you're not being seen, just just like Barbara said, just do you, but also get out of your own way in order for that greater side of who you are to shine forth and step forward.
Mm. Yes. I have a feeling this queen wants to say something. I know she's like, what? I can just sense it.
Yes, absolutely. The courage it has taken to just come out and just learn how to be yourself, be comfortable in your own skin, knowing what your own self-worth is a journey within itself, because we are all usually subject to someone else's rejection, misunderstandings, those things that come with just being up in a service type environment. So I love the fact that we all can come together and that we're sharing our true authentic selves when it comes to stages in our lives where we felt vulnerable, where we have overcome those things. So I love this subject.
Yes, yes. I love it too. And I just want to put another, like I said, I'm putting different questions out there too to have you think. Because, this is really important because, like I said, it's about you really understanding. So, can you grow in your purpose? Can you, can you grow in your purpose without embracing vulnerability? That's a question I want you to resonate with. Okay. So with that, we are going to go because we always want to remind ourselves of the Purple Club, Purple Heart Club. So we're going to play just a little video. We'll be right back. That's so beautiful. So we always want to play that because it's one of our members that basically gained her wings. And we always show she loved purple pen, purple buzz. She would always mess with us with that in the comments and everything. And basically, Queen Tamara created the video. So we'd always share that out to remind people of leaving that legacy, always remembering who was there to start something that's really, really powerful. And then once they gain their wings, we still should be sitting and making sure that that's still going. So that video is always an honor to her and an honor to everybody else that might have gained their wings. So we just want to always take that break to say that. And Miss Kim.
Well, thank you for sharing that with everyone today about the Purple Pen Heart Club, and just that reminder. I know the person you're speaking of, and she was actually a good example for today's subject too. I want to acknowledge her because I think there could be people out there who resonate with this. Is that we are talking about being vulnerable to help others and show up in service to others, because absolutely that's a thing, and yet sometimes it's just choosing to be vulnerable to show up more for yourself. Even it's like it literally is just something that sets ourselves free. And with that person that you were mentioning, I saw her do that so beautifully. She wasn't someone that was, well, I take that back. She actually did a lot of things that were in service to a lot of people. But what I saw most in her was just this desire to show up more for herself and set herself free from the limiting beliefs that she may have once held of, I can't do this, or I'm not worth doing this. And even that is such a beautiful light and empowering for others. It's just, it's so powerful to see anybody just simply showing up for themselves. So I just want to put that out there because she was beautiful in that way.
Oh, she was. I had to do that. I had to do that. Yes, she was. And that was fabulous. Which I'm glad you added to that, Kim, because it really is just showing up and just saying, I want to be who I am and I have to do this for me. It always starts with you. It always starts with you. Yes, first.
Yes.
So anybody else want to add real quickly before we go to Leticia? We got to get her video out there. Okay, so if that's the case, let's go right to the queen here and see what kind of wisdom she has for us.
I am super excited about today's topic where we're talking about authenticity, showing up, being comfortable in your own skin. What is a tip that I would give that got me to this place where today that I am confident in my own skin? Through the flaws, the imperfections, society teaches us to live up to the hype of being perfected, showing up with a mask on, not being authentically true to yourself to fit in. And I would say, speaking affirmations over yourself, knowing that you are enough. I am enough. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I know my self-worth. Speaking affirmations over myself has been one tip that has helped me excel in the area of showing up who I authentically am.
Woo, 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 woo. Okay, we're going to bring the queen in here.
I'm like, Sasha, who was that in that video? Yes, I believe even the shirt that I had on that day, which I just now recognized, had affirmation sayings on it. I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I can do things. One of my sayings that I say all the time is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me each and every day. So just saying things and truly affirming gives me a step by step each and every day, because every day is a journey for me as an introvert. Every day is a journey to show up and be authentically who I am. But knowing that I can do those things, I believe that we can't connect through perfection, but we can connect through the truth. And that my story of saying, hey, Leticia, you may not be the most person that can talk in front of the big crowd, or but these are things that I've done. But it's because, I'm quieting the fear. I'm quieting the judgment. I'm quieting those other people, the eyes that are looking at me, maybe possibly thinking of failure, because I'm uplifting those other things that you can do it. You can say it. You won't trip. You won't stumble over your words. You can truly show up authentically who you are because you've been working on yourself through this journey of self-discovery and being able to be vulnerable and let someone know, guess what? I'm not completely perfect. I don't have it all together, but I can get the job done.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it, queen. And I know you keep saying that, and I'm gonna mess with you. You keep saying that an introvert. I said, we gonna get that vocabulary out your mouth now, because you are definitely past that now. Maybe before.
This sounds just like he'd be like, who's the introvert? And I'd be like, you know what? It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the individuals. It depends on where I am, where either, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, no, we're getting past that point. But there are still some instances that will show up. But you know what? Just like you, when Barbara calls, I'm like, okay, let's do it then. Let's get on this camera. We don't know who on the other side. But you know what? You're going to get out here and you're going to give your voice. You're going to say what you got to say. And it's going to be what it's going to be. And hopefully it's of value, right? Yes. So, yes, but like I say, there are some parts, depending on circumstances or where I am, that, the introvert Leticia comes out a little bit.
Yeah. And we all do that, because I tell people I'm an introvert too. And they're like, really, Barbara? Why are you lying to everybody? I'm like, I'm not. I'm really not. I used to be very shy. I always say that. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's keep on moving. But yeah, I mean, in certain situations, sometimes, and it happens, where you just kind of, and I always tell myself, that's when I start doing more listening, because I notice sometimes when I talk, okay, I'm just going to put myself here. I'm putting myself out here. if I talk like right now, I might be over talking. I say, okay, Barbara, are you listening to them? Are you actively listening to the other person? Or are you just sitting here like to hear yourself talk? See, I got to ask myself that question. And then I say, no, let me, so I can hear, because you need to hear even the things that people don't say that you hear that they don't even realize. That's what you need to hear, because you need to see maybe why they're an introvert, or maybe why they're struggling in certain areas, or maybe why they're not that vulnerable. Because if you don't hear what they have to say, then you'll never get to the next level so you can help them. So that's why I always tell people, you know what, sometimes you got to just and listen to others.
Can I add something? Can I add something?
Sure.
I would like to add, hopefully that everybody that's watching right now that is experiencing that introvert level of things, and see that I'm an introvert too, believe it or not. So you have 3 people here. I like to say that I'm an elevated introvert, but I go along the line of ambivert, really, because I am the best of both. But the introvert does show up, and the extrovert shows up when I need to. So we'll just say we're graduated, right? But for everybody that's out there and that's still dealing with that, and say, okay, well, how can I go and speak? How can I just show up? How can I really share my story? How can I even just really show my purpose with vulnerability? And I don't even I get the chills. I get, all these things. But when you have people in front of you right now showing you that it can be done, but it's done by way of knowing that our purpose is greater. And walking it out and just still being afraid, still, sweating under the armpits. Y'all will never see that, but, still moving forward, sweating from here, just still moving forward. That is the biggest part. But when you do that and you can just kind of get out, once again, get outside of that self, get outside of that comfort zone, get outside of your own way to know that whatever's out there that you can share for others to embrace, that's the most important piece. And then you grow in that. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't, but I have grown to be this way, and I'm still growing. And I'm like Barbara and Leticia. So I just wanted to kind of just share that, because that is a stumbling block for some people when it comes down to, wanting to be visible and still navigating that space.
Yes, definitely. And Miss Barbara, I see your hand up, lady.
One of the things that Sasha just said, it's about our growth, and so often we think we have to grow, like take this huge leap to grow. We don't. It's in those little shifts that's when they're those subtle shifts. That's when we can grow. And when we are grateful for our vulnerability, that's powerful. I truly believe that that's where some of our power comes from. It's quiet and it's steady, and that's what vulnerability is. And yet we can say, I can do it. And feel that and do it anyways.
With that, I want to lead right into another video that really, goes to the next level after we get the foundation of making sure that you're vulnerable. It is so important to be that. And that's just, setting your goals and putting action to it. So let's get some love for this video and see what really make me have those answers for you in your head about, are you being vulnerable, and are you doing it so you can get to your vision in your life? We'll be right back.
I see the road, it's bending wide, chasing dreams I can't let slide. A spark ignites, I feel alive. Plans in my pocket, fire in my chest. Every step forward, no time to rest. Goals, vision, action, that's my way. Building tomorrow from today. Goals, vision, action, it's my drive. Living the dream while I'm alive. climbing, chasing skies. The finish line's where truth resides. Hope in my fingers, grit in my hands, turning my whispers into demands. Goals, vision, action, that's my way. Building tomorrow from today. Goals, vision, action, it's my drive. Living the dream while I'm alive.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So with that, we did the foundation, leading with vulnerability, right? We're talking about some goals and actions in the video. We're talking about the love of the light that comes out of you, all that good stuff. So what I want to do now, because we are rearing up to our time here, I want each of our wonderful panelists just to say one word to encourage somebody when it comes to vulnerability. Just like maybe one or two words, make it quick, and I'm going to go to the next queen. So I'll start with Kim.
Freedom. Set yourself free.
Ooh, I like that.
Faith. Believe that your story has a purpose.
Mm. Ooh.
Know that vulnerability is a kindness, not only to yourself, but to others.
Say yes and just take that step forward. Each step forward takes you to another greater purpose, and take action.
Ooh, I like to take action part. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So this has been amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, ladies, always for always calling, hearing me say, and always saying yes. You never fight it. You never fight me. And I love it. So just remember, everybody, please lead with the vulnerability. Lead with who you truly are. We want to know who you are, not the next person, because you have some gift. I always say this, you have a gift in you. Let it shine. Let that love shine. Let that trust shine. Let everything shine from within to out, because that's what's needed in the world today. With that said, we will see you next week at the next Fab Show.